Yoko ordered some food, so it should be coming here soon. Incredibly fast here. What's this?
How much?
Hello there, morons. This is Victor. Screw that. Hello there, Stuart. Stuart. I don't even know how to do this video. I don't have that many regrets. Well, okay, I have thousands, but very few stick with me. This video is for my junior high school best friend. My best friend from junior high school named Stuart, who emailed me about a week ago almost. He sent me a fairly long letter or email, catching me up with his life, and I thought I would return the favor, but do it this way so he can see me. I'll be emailing this to him. But I thought I would share it with everyone else on the internet because it's kind of what I've become, right? A guy who shares things, and I try to share as much as possible. Now, 2 days ago, I was walking by a bookstore, old bookstore here in Japan, and they have this $1 section for Western books. Actually, everything's $1 in the store, but it's all used books. But I came across a copy of I want to say Holden Caulfield's Catcher in the Rye, but of course J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye, which if you haven't read and you are a human being, especially a young man, you definitely have to read. For me, it's one of the most, I want to say, influential or personality forming or personality confirming books of my life. And it points to one of my biggest fears, or the one thing, fears, or it's kind of a warning for me, and I think in simple English, and I'm sure this is not, this is probably not even the message of the book, but something I took away from it. One thing I took away from that book is don't be phony. Don't be a phony. Be sincere. And that's what I try to do in these videos with you. I try to share as much as I can without being stupid. Here's my social security number. I try to share as much as I can with you guys, and be as real as possible, without I try to be as real as possible, but I don't assume that my reality is truth. It's just me. Okay, but the reason I feel this way, of course, is because there are times in my life where I have skated along the edge of insincerity and fallen into the large lake of phoniness that exists in this world, and then we have to put up with sometimes. And you guys have heard me before. You guys who watch my videos, I'm quite capable of being an honest dickhead in person, as I am on the internet. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. No, I'm stupid sometimes. But anyway, I was going to say one regret. No, of the thousands of regrets I do have, most regrets I'm lucky enough to get over. Like, fuck it, I fucked up. So, but this one regret I do have is regarding a guy named Stuart, the guy I'm making this video for, and it was our last conversation. I want to go back a little bit because I cannot remember this really well. And I guess this is what happens in your life, So I'm just going to tell you guys what I remember. And Stuart, I'm hoping some of this will refresh your memory, though maybe not. Now, growing up in the state where I grew up, I'm not going to tell you too much information. I went to Catholic school first until I was in 6th grade, I believe. Up to 6th, I think it was 4th, 5th, 6th grade, something like that. I went to Catholic school. And then I transferred to the best private school in the city. and it was a bit expensive in those days. I think it was. I think I remember the tuition was $3,500 a year, or maybe it was a semester. And I remember thinking that was an amazing amount of money. But now that's like, wow. I think I'd be lucky if I could pay that much for my son, right? Hmm. Of course. By the way, kindergarten or nursery school in Japan costs about $500 a month, privately. If you send him to a private kindergarten, I've got a son now, and Stuart has two daughters. So, by the way, Stuart, I don't know what the hell barrel rolling is. One of your daughters is a professional barrel roller. Um, I meant to Google that. I don't mean to belittle that sport. I'm assuming it's a sport, but I should have Googled that before I made this video. But anyway, before I get to my regret, so I remember going into Bowles, and I said the name, didn't I? I remember going into that private high school. You can all look it up now. And I found I don't know what, and I remember. Yeah, I was kind of I guess a small fish, and I was kind of a troublemaker kid. I was not the cool kid, and I think Stuart was a funny kid. I remember you being really funny, and clever, and also you had a kind of a I don't give a fuck kind of attitude. You were cool, and I think we started to grow apart because I wasn't. I think we were both not cool, but you seemed to not give a fuck more than me, and thus you fared better in the competitive private school system that we were in, because they had all the jocks and the cheerleaders and all that shit. I think the older kids, but I remember there was one girl there who was really built, and everyone talked about her, named Claire. I don't know if you remember her. She was hot, and we had one teacher who was like 60 but had huge boobs, and everyone would talk about her too and try to take a glimpse or take a glance or see her boobs. Look at her cleavage. She was always wearing this incredible cleavage. I think she had red hair too, and she was like ancient and super big, what do you call them, fake eyelashes. Of course I didn't wear glasses then, neither did you. And I remember, I think you and I got into trouble, but I got caught and you didn't, maybe. We were tearing down signs in the hallway of other people who were running for class, whatever. They had class president or something. And I think I got caught. I don't remember this story exactly, but I think I got caught tearing down a sign. I think you were with me, but you got away. Maybe not. But, I think one of my punishments was to be forced to run for office. And I was forced to give a speech that very day. And I had nothing. So I gave a super retarded speech that plagued me for the next 2 or 3 years because of the stupid things I said in the speech. And it became fodder. And my speech was weaponized against me for the rest of for not the rest, but for a couple 2 years. Kids don't forget; they just rub it in your face forever. So, I'm just remembering that now. I think I declared we should have more sports, and I was the laughing stock of my junior high school, and it was between. That's kind of all I remember about school. There's I don't remember much else about it. Oh yeah, there was a math teacher that was kind of a dick. Algebra, I think it was. What was the name? And I think he ended up quitting and becoming like a Bible salesman or something, which is weird. I think no one ever understood that he was like religious because he was such a dick. What was his name? I don't remember. But anyway, that's not my regret. My regret was in between years, and I think Stuart and I had already started growing apart. I think you knew that school was just full of phonies. Just like Holden Caulfield knew that everybody at whatever school he went to was just a phony. And you called me between summers one day, and you said you weren't coming back because you're going to go to the public high school, which was kind of like where the cool kids and I guess the tough kids went. I want to think it's like, I think in those days I thought it was like where the tough kids went, but now Looking back, I don't think there were that many tough kids in our town, but it wasn't like we lived in the, in the city or something, or in a poor part of America. But I remember one of the stupidest things, and I don't know where it came from. It just, I was just, it's one of the stupidest things I ever said. And I don't know how it got past my lips, but I said, let's do lunch sometime. Like, let's not lose touch. And I said, yeah, let's do lunch. And I don't remember, I'm sure you don't remember this, but at the very moment it came out of my mouth, those words came out of my mouth, I thought, what the fuck am I saying? I'm 13 years old, and I just told my good friend that we're gonna do lunch, and nobody ever does that. That's just so phony. I mean, that's what people say when they're never gonna see each other again. So it's just a weird thing to say, and I always regretted that. But of course, we lost touch almost immediately. I think we never saw each other again after that. Maybe once. No, I remember. I did see you once, and you were with a hot girl, if I remember correctly. I think you were I think I saw you a short time later, maybe, and you were with a hot girl, and you didn't give a fuck. I ended up doing okay in my high school, but now the other reason I'm making this video is Stuart sent me an email kind of catching me up with his life. So congratulations on your 2 daughters and marrying a beautiful woman. That's great. He told me that in the email. I don't think he did it to be I don't think he was bragging or anything when he did that. He just was kind of pointing out. It seemed quite factual to me. But he seemed grateful to be lucky to be married to a beautiful woman and have 2 beautiful daughters. Though again, I don't know what barrel rolling is. I should have looked that up before I made this video. But apparently one of his daughters is a really good barrel roller, whatever that is. But the other reason I'm making this video is just, I guess, kind of just to tell Stuart and the rest of you kind of what happened in my life. So, because Stuart doesn't know. So I thought it's a good opportunity to give you a history of my life since junior high school. So junior high school, when I was 15, I met a 17-year-old girl who deflowered me, so to speak. That's the nice way to say it. But she gave me confidence, and it was simply by being myself. I was just myself with her, and she saw me as myself, and she was like the cool chick on campus, and 2 years older, and she when you're 15, you're questioning everything. She gave me confidence. I did go through I was really good at that private school. I did really well. I was like a top, I think, 12 students out of 150 students. And then I hit a depression in my senior year, and I just dropped to the bottom of the class. There were, a couple of reasons for that. One of them is a girl that I ended up dating later broke up with me. But it wasn't just that. It was, it was hormones. It was just being a kid. But I kind of screwed up, Like I could have gone to an Ivy League school or something. But I kind of screwed up, yeah. I mean, I did recover. I made a recovery, but it was too little too late. Ended up going to NYU, New York University. And had a great time there. I just loved it. And I picked it. Yeah, I got into better schools, but I picked that school because it's New York City, and I wanted to be the small town boy, so to speak, going to the big city. Because if you could make it there, you can make it anywhere. And just having a really good time, dressing strange, got a mohawk, little time. My father disowned me because he thought I was doing drugs or something. Never really got into the drug scene, never did anything like that. But I did feel like I wasn't spending my father's tuition money right, because he did pay for tuition. I paid for living and expenses, which is quite a bit in New York City, but he did definitely help me out with tuition. And I took a year off after my sophomore year, I believe, or maybe my freshman year. When was it? No, sophomore year. and I went off to South America and just traveled around. And as you remembered in your email, I do speak Spanish. My family does speak Spanish, so we traveled around South America. Or I'm sorry, I traveled around South America, backpacked mostly, really minimalist with just a few books. Didn't have Catcher in the Rye with me. The girl that I was deeply in love with, and I broke up during that time. I met another girl in Argentina, beautiful girl, got engaged, brought her back to America. She hated it. She hated it because she was a socialist, communist, and she hated our capitalist lifestyle. We broke up. Went back to college, of course, and graduated with a double major. No, major in English literature, minored in psychology, and almost minored in film. Minored in film. I was a monogamous, serial monogamous, but broke up with the last girlfriend and went off to South America again, alone again, and backpacked around some more. Came back, worked at a couple publishing companies in publicity, met a lot of famous people, met John Le Carré, met the guy who writes the Fletch novels, who I don't remember his name anymore, met Arthur Miller and his wife. They're both dead now. Arthur Miller's wife tried to set me up with his daughter, who later became a famous director, and married the guy who did My Left Foot. My Brush with Fame. Nothing really special. I drove a taxi. Did I say I drove a taxi? Did I tell you that? I drove a taxi in New York City for 2 years before going off to South America. And actually, after I got my publishing job, I ended up quitting that and driving a taxi again because it made more money. And then I decided I was going to go to Japan because of the influences of Akira Kurosawa and all the samurai films my father showed me as a kid. And my father really respects hard work, because I don't know if Stuart remembers this, but my father's, I'm sure he doesn't know this, but my father's my hero in that he worked really hard and built his life out of nothing. And I look up to him a lot, and he has a really shitty sense of humor, just like me. We're really annoying with our senses of humor. But we're both usually in really good moods, except when our respective wives, are poopy or grouchy, and then we're kind of grouchy too. We both have bad tempers and are known to be violent, but luckily neither of us have ever hit anyone. Just punch walls and stuff. My dad punched a radio once and a car once. I punch walls and things. I do get, I have been, as you've seen from my videos, a little bit aggressive when I see someone beating his girlfriend in the street. But besides that, I've been a pretty good person. But anyway, he's my hero, and he always said, he always admired the Japanese and how Japanese people, the country, was able to build itself into the number one economic force after World War II, and despite being, despite losing the war. So I came to Japan, and because I already spoke Spanish, I thought, okay, I'm going to try to learn a difficult language. Came to Japan, met a girl, fell in love. 6 years later, she broke up with me, but I had already invested so much time into learning the language and becoming the head teacher of a fairly large school that I thought, fuck it, I'm going to stay. And I ended up staying. Pretty miserable, pretty heartbroken for a while, but I got over that. You get over it. You get over everything, right? And finally, when I was convinced I was never going to get married, and not depressed about it, pretty happy. just thought, I'm not getting married. I did end up getting married like you. You got married about 15 years ago. I got married, I think, 8 years ago. So we both got married pretty late. And it looks like you popped out those babies quite quickly. So we waited. I got the house, got the car, stabilized the economic situation. And we had our first this year, which is, he's 9.5 months old. And I don't tell anybody what his name is on the internet. But I do call him Little Godzilla. That's his nickname. This is, of course, not him. This is just a replica, just a representation. But Oh, of course. And a couple things that happened to me in Japan. I ended up, very quick summary. I ended up being part owner in two bars, two gaijin bars. I figured I was going to spend so much at the bars, might as well just invest and buy into them. So I did that. I ended up managing one of the hottest rock and roll bands in Nagoya, where I live now, and opening up my own English school about 17 years ago. So yeah, 17 years ago, I think it's going to be our 17th year anniversary next year. And so after I quit, I was head teacher of a large English school. I quit that and opened up my own school. I guess that's pretty much a summary. You know, we bought a house, a small house, but it's mine. So we're building equity and all, doing all that responsible shit. Last week I bought solar panels for the house, which is like $13,000. Which is such an adult decision, and which I will end up paying for the next 10 years. And that's a summary of my life. And I make these stupid videos on YouTube. And I get a lot of feedback. There's quite a few idiots who tend to spend their time hating on me, but that's okay. Sometimes they're right, and more often though they're just trolls. But more importantly, there are a lot of really cool people that I've met on the internet, and a lot of great friends that I've met doing this. But the one thing I've tried to do is not be phony. And I don't tell people, let's have lunch. I think the only time I ever did it was with you, but it always stuck in my craw as just a thing, just a why did I say that kind of moment. Like, it just seems so fake. I do remember. Yeah, you were my cool friend in junior high school, and after that, I think I regretted it because I thought we were good friends, Those were like 35 years ago, huh? Of course, I've had good friends since then. They've come and gone. Friends come and go. And in the end, your best friend becomes your wife, right? That's something I always wondered about with my parents. I always wondered, like, how come they don't have, like, any good friends, Because they had each other. I think that's what happened. But I still have, I guess, the memories of the friendships that I had as a boy. And you were one of those memories, So I don't mean this video to sound more, more corny than it's not supposed to be corny. It's just it's a weird thing because like I said in the beginning of the video. Did I say that? I looked for you for a couple years ago because I was really curious to see what had happened to you. And I guess because I regretted the way we ended that telephone conversation. Like, I knew that you probably don't remember this, but I was thinking, God, he must think I'm such a dick to have said something like that. It's 1:35 a.m. So, and I've got ticks in my eyes because I've been working so much recently. But I've been wanting to make this video since you sent that. Since you, what did I say? This video? Did I say video? I've been wanting to make this video since you sent that email. So, so here it is. So thanks for reaching out. I know it's weird to make this kind of public reply to your email, but I'm really surprised that you actually reached out at all. And if you got to the end of this video, that's amazing. But really, what made you want to contact me after 35, whatever it is, after so long? I think that's weird. But I'm glad you did it. I think I think I expected everyone, from that time in my life has pretty much forgotten about me. Yeah. So, well, thanks. Yeah. Thanks for thinking of me. And I'm great. I'm happy that you turned out pretty successfully, as you say in your email, which is great. So congrats. I mean that. I don't seem that way because I'm just tired. But and the reason I'm making this video tired is because I just want to get it out and send it to you as soon as possible because I've been tired every day. But if I don't do it today, it'll just be another day of me waiting, finding the energy. So again, thanks for emailing, and thanks for everyone else for watching. maybe you know a little bit more about me. But the most important thing I'd like anyone who's not Stuart to take away from this video is, yeah, don't be a phony. Do your best not to be a phony. Because, yeah, for some reason, that phony moment just stuck in my craw forever. And now I can say, hey, I'm sorry I said that. That was really a dickish thing to say. We were good friends, and I should have said, dude, that sucks. I'm going to miss you. Well, hope you get laid a lot in public high school. That's what I should have said. But, you know, I was only 14 or 13, so what did I know? All right, well, I can't say that to you now because you're married. So. But I do wish you the best. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks, Stuart, for emailing. Talk to you guys soon. How do I turn this off? I don't know.